What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers getting Walker Kessler just got a lot more complicated with the Boston Celtics now in the race for Walker Kessler. Based on reports that have came out, the Boston Celtics are interested in adding and acquiring Walker Kessler. Look, the beauty of Walker Kessler is he's so cheap, pretty much every team in the league can go and acquire him. The thing is like, what are the picks? What are the assets? And here's the problem. Danny Ainge is also a Celtics guy. Now, does he feel kind of slighted because, they let him go and, replaced him? And, as soon as they replaced him, they won the championship. Does he try to, fleece Boston? Or does he look at it and go, hey, I'm still loyal to my team. Let me tell you what, I wanted 6 firsts from the Lakers. I'll do it for you for 2 seconds, right? I wouldn't be shocked at all if Walker Kessler ends up going to the Boston Celtics, which I would rather him go anywhere else. Honestly, go anywhere else. The Knicks need to send him to the Knicks, right? Anywhere else, as long as it's not the Celtics, right? Because it's just the rich get richer, right? Which, you could argue about, with the Lakers and history and stuff like that. But, also, me being a Laker fan, I just don't want to see the Celtics get any better than they already are. And Walker Kessler would definitely make them better. Basically Walker Kessler in Cornette's role would be ridiculous for the Celtics. Now, look, Walker Kessler has always kind of been a bit of a pipe dream. Could this also be incentive and pressure to try to get the Lakers to pony up? Hey, Danny Ainge is very familiar, very immersed in the Lakers-Celtics rivalry and the Lakers-Celtics history and all that stuff. Look, this got out, right? Got out for a reason. Talked about this in the recent talks that hey, why does stuff get out, right? Why would because look, if the Celtics wanted Kessler, wouldn't they try to do it in silent? Wouldn't they just try to get the deal done? Boom, boom, get him, boom, big surprise. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, right? I can't believe they did that, right? Nick Richards, there we go. That's the name I was searching for. Nick Richards, for example, right? All this trade proposal comes out, they're engaging, right? Why did that get out? It didn't make the only team that benefits from that getting out is the Hornets. Hey, all these guys, they all want Nick Richards, right? Everyone wants Nick Richards. Guess what? You can have Nick Richards. Phoenix is willing to give us seconds and Nurk. Can you beat that? Ding, 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 ding. Anybody? Hello? Ringing the bell. Can somebody beat the Phoenix Suns in their offer, right? Because, again, if you want something to get done, you move in silent, right? What happened with the Lakers? You heard the Grizzlies conversation, right? And then, boom, all of a sudden, Lakers have it. You didn't hear reports tell it was getting ready to be done, right? Because you want to move quickly. Let's go, boom, boom, boom. You want it, because last thing you want, you don't want it to go under the radar. Because you want everyone else to go, hey, wait a minute, I didn't get a chance to, what happened? Why? That's what you want. You don't want it to be loud and out there and all that. So could this be a leverage play of hey, Lakers, we could send them to Boston. And guess what? I'm Danny Ainge, right? I'm very familiar with Boston, right? We have quite the history together. We go way back. It's a buddy of mine. He's a friend from work, right? That's my nightmare, right? Walker Kessler goes to the Celtics after. Now, not only did they just get a long-time center, but they also just got better for now and the future, which is the fear. So my hope is that the Lakers end up pulling off a deal for Kessler still. Look, people keep saying oh, Kessler isn't available. Kessler's available, right? You don't keep hearing these reports of these teams having conversations about Walker Kessler and he's not available, right? When do you ever hear an organization make somebody available and then just take them off the market and go, never mind, I don't. When they had him available for months, it almost never happens, right? I'm not saying it's never happened in the history, but it almost never happened. It's happened, a handful of times maybe, if that, right? Usually it's because you don't get offers or it just doesn't make sense to trade the guy for what they'd have to give up. But it doesn't mean that they wouldn't trade him if the deal comes, right? That's not the case with Kessler, right? Kessler's case is that, they're trying to get as much return in value as possible, right? And teams, of course, are reluctant, right? Do you really want to pony up 2 firsts to go get Walker Kessler? Probably not, right? I don't know why Utah wants to trade Walker Kessler to begin with. I've maintained that since day one. I have no idea why they wanted to do that. And supposedly on reports, Lakers could have landed Walker Kessler, but Danny Ainge is worried about the picks. So to me, it really comes down to like, what do the Celtics bring to the table, right? Because Celtics still have picks, they still have assets that they could leverage to use to trade. Like, are they willing to kind of just like, here's the rest of it type deal, and give Danny Ainge, which, I mean, Danny Ainge is the one that stacked up all those draft picks over the years, right? So, I mean, he knows which ones they are, right? So whatever's left from the treasure trove, is he just kind of like, give me this one, this one, this one, and then boom, Walker Kessler's yours? And would the Celtics be willing to do that? Would Brad Stevens really be able to do that? I mean, it kind of feels like if you're going to do that, you might as well just go get Nick Richards if you're the Celtics, because you're just looking for somebody to be an upgrade over Cornette, right? Like, that could also just be me hoping that right? It's just me in part hoping that the Celtics don't end up pulling off a trade for Walker Kessler. But also, no, in all seriousness, right? Like, I don't know why, like, it doesn't have to be Kessler, right? Like, it could be Nick Richards or, a Day'Ron trade. They just need somebody that can slot in and plug and play that. But the thing is, too, is that, like, let's say they go and they sneak and swoop in and steal Nick Richards, right? Well, now you're down to basically Day'Ron Sharpe or Kessler, unless the reports are true that the Lakers and the Warriors are kind of like a two-man race to go get Nikola Vucevic. If that's the case, then you're probably not getting Kessler. I mean, I still wouldn't mind getting Kessler because, again, he's 23 years old. He could be the guy for now and the future. But at that point, it might be a little overkill, right? You're probably better off using your assets and whatever you have left pick-wise to go try to go get that point of attack guard, right? Maybe you're looking at a Bruce Brown, or maybe you're trying to get a deal done and get Lonzo too in the deal, as well as Nikola Vucevic, right? You're trying to kill two birds with one stone in one trade, or Io in a perfect world, fingers crossed. Can we get an Io? That would be beautiful. If you gave me Nikola Vucevic and an Io, I'm good, right? I mean, I still want Kessler, but I'd be okay at that point. It's just, this is the thing. I mean, there's competition. All right. And it's pressure for the Lakers to try to get something done. Right. I mean, look, if you're the Lakers, I still think you be patient. Like, I still don't think you go trade everything to go get Kessler. Right. Now, again, if you get a John Collins and a Kessler or a Sexton and a Kessler, now things change. But if all these teams are offering just for Kessler, right, well, then it's like, unless they really want to get off of John Collins and Colin Sexton, but I don't know why, right? Like, it's not, they don't have like 4 or 5 years left on their deals, right? Like, they're all like have one more year, I think. I think Sexton has next year at like 19 million, and then Collins has, I think, next year at like 26, 27 million, something like that. So, like, they're not these insanely long contracts, right? So I don't know if it's something where it's like we have to get off. Like, if John Collins was on like a 3-year deal, then maybe I think that could be your leverage point, right? Like, hey, we'll take John Collins. Celtics can't take John Collins. I mean, I would still try to use that as my leverage point, still approach it that way. Like, hey, tell you what, we'll take a John Collins and the trade too if you give us Kessler. Get off of that big money, kind of give you more movable contracts rather than like one large contract. Well, now you have, a $17 million that's expiring next year and an $11 million that's expiring next year. It's easier to get off of those and get some pieces or whatever than it is to get off of a, $27 million expiring contract, especially if you don't want to take on long-term salary and all that stuff, right? Like, so that could be your kind of leverage point. That could be your argument point. Like, yeah, the Celtics, they're in play. They want Kessler. They're giving the picks. Well, we'll do the same, but we'll also take on John Collins because John Collins makes a lot of sense. Or again, Colin Sexton. Either way, you got to find entry points. You got to find leverage points if you're the Lakers. You got to find ways to kind of wiggle in and get the pieces that you need. But it's it's tough. As soon as I saw those reports, I was like, oh man. I wanted to talk about it last night, but we got the Nikola Vucevic news kind of late last night. So I was like, oh, all right, I'll talk about this because, like, what happens if that happens in the morning, right? Like, which, good. I mean, time you're watching this video, it's possible. Maybe Nikola Vucevic is a Laker. But regardless, man, it's just like, oh. As soon as I saw the Celtics are in play and going after Colin Sexton. I was like, of course they are now. Why wouldn't they? Right? Like, they didn't care the last year and a half that the Lakers have been trying to get after him, but now all of a sudden they want him. And I worry about the relationship, right? Because Danny Ainge he's a Celtic, right, through and through. Again, does he feel kind of slighted? Right? Does he feel kind of like, hey, you guys did me wrong, you guys did me dirty type thing? Or is he kind of like, like, hey, still Celtic, right? Like, because that could be the end of Walker Kessler for the Lakers. But we'll see. Time will tell, right? It ain't over till it's over. We still in the fight, so don't count us out yet. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Kind of mixed in the middle? What do you think of Walker Kessler potentially going to the Celtics? Do you think that Lakers can still get Walker Kessler? Do you even want Walker Kessler still? Do you think that they should go get Nikola Vucevic? Think they should try to go get both, right? And just have two centers, right? You never have too many centers, right? Especially if you can move Anthony Davis to the 4 full-time. However you feel, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. As we enjoy these types of videos, I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.